Okay. Yeah, all right. So, we're trying some new recording software for this one. Um, I told you before there was a sale on Vegas software, and so this is done in Vegas Pro 14. So hopefully it works out pretty well. So I decided to do something a little bit different for this one, and so I actually went outside and shit to get some film and whatnot for this video because I figured I went to it last year and I told people about it and they said they wanted to see, and pictures can only do it so much justice. So what I did is I cobbled some things together into a somewhat workable body cam. It has no image stabilization, as you can see, and I went out and put that on and took some footage around Hirosaki Castle during the Cherry Blossom Festival that happens here every year. This is one of the biggest things we got going on in Hirosaki. Um, and in Aomori Prefecture as a whole, there's tons of tourists that come down in the spring for this, and it's pretty cool. They have this castle ground. They have a whole bunch of cherry trees and whatnot, and they all go into bloom in May, which is a little bit. It's later than the cherry blossom festivals around the rest of the country are because we're so far up north that it doesn't get warm enough for them to really bloom until now. So the week of this festival, pretty much like just shitloads of people descend upon Aomori, especially tourists. There's a whole lot of international tourists. So, like, for about a week, much like Nebuta, for about like a week in spring, there's just like a whole bunch of foreigners hanging around Hirosaki trying to figure out where to go and what to do and how to eat and whatnot. And um, it's interesting, and everything gets really crowded and sort of packed and whatnot. Um, on the way to this festival, I actually ended up. I had to go to the bathroom before I actually went to the castle proper, so I went into a Lawson's and ended up taking forever. The line for the men's room was so. It wasn't long, but the guy in there was taking forever. So I ended up being like just standing in line for like a half an hour, and three. The line started out with me, one other guy, or with one person in front, another guy behind him, and then me. And eventually, it was just me and guy number two, and two other people came in behind me, waited, and then left after a while. And we were just sitting there waiting. And the guy in front of me was absolutely busting. And after about like the 28 minute mark, he was like, all right, fuck this. And he looked around, there was no other people waiting for the ladies' room, so he turned around and was like, do you think anybody won't mind if I use the ladies' room really quickly? And I'm like, I don't know, go for it, dude. So he went, it's like, okay, I'll be quick. Oh, he's like, I'll be quick. Basically, like, wish me luck, and then darted off into the toilet. And as soon as the door closed and he locked it, the guy came out of the men's room. It was fucking ridiculous. So, luckily, I was able to get to the castle without having to piss in a gutter or something. But so earlier I mentioned that I cobbled together some things to work as a body cam for this, and I did. Um, I do not have an actual body camera like a GoPro or anything. I wanna get one, but they cost a lot of money, and I have to save up for that kind of new stuff. So for the purposes of this video of me going to the Cherry Blossom Festival, walking around, seeing the sights and whatnot, um, I actually used a sort of homemade solution to this problem. And if you notice, it looks like the footage is through like an Instagram filter or something. It's a little bit washed out, sort of like retro, as if I used like a 1990s, 1980s camera to shoot this. And the reason for that is that the wearable body camera solution that I ended up coming up with was basically that I took my old Galaxy Note smartphone, I put it into a small B6 Ziploc bag. I used an eyelet punch to punch two eyelets into the corners of the bag at the top, and then using a small length of rope and some carabiners, I made a small lash, and then I just wore that around my neck with it hanging down in front of my chest, pointing forward. And I used an app where I can record with the screen off to save power, and that coupled with a 32 gigabyte SD card basically gave me a wearable body camera to do this kind of stuff for about 3,000 yen, which is about $30 US. I had to use a small cardboard spacer to make sure it faced forward instead of sort of like up, because the first time I tried to go out and shoot some test footage with this particular setup, the camera was tilted somewhat up when it set on my chest. And so you got all these really interesting pictures of the sky, but not really so much of what was going on in front of me. um, yeah, so that with a small cardboard spacer and some rubber bands held the camera steady and forward, and I was able to walk around and shoot this. And basically, I just kind of turned it on and would check it at different intervals, and put it in the bag, zip it up, and then just walk around. And I did get some interesting looks, but nobody really seemed to be all that hung up with the fact that I had a camera around my neck. I think either they thought he's keeping his camera close at hand to make sure that there's no theft or anything, or he might be a little bit special. But either way, I got the footage, so I'm not too bothered about it. So as you can see here, this is the point of the festival where I'm actually I'm paying for entrance to go see the castle and whatnot. There are two tickets, and one is about 300 yen for an adult, and one is about 500 yen. The 500 yen one gets you into the botanical gardens as well as the memorial garden that is actually across the street from Hirosaki Castle. And you don't know if the botanical garden actually made it into the final cut of this video, because it was rather underwhelming, which was not as fun. But the memorial garden bit you see, and it's a fairly cool little memorial garden. I went around in there. This day was good. I ate some good food, saw some stuff. I don't know if it made it into the video, but there was a place that was selling what they called like American fries at the event, which was basically they were like French fries that were the length of my forearm. I have a picture somewhere. I might splice it in the video, I might not. But basically, yeah, they're like from the tip of my finger, of my middle finger to like my elbow was about the length of the fry. And they sold them in these baskets. And I saw a guy walking around with them, and I was like, what the fuck are those? I must have them. And so, here's I'm checking to see if it's still recording and whatnot. So, pardon that. But, yeah, you can see it going into the bag and being zipped up. Yeah, I saw a guy walking around with some, and he was eating them with his family. They were just pulling these huge fucking forearm length fries out, and they were trying to balance them so they wouldn't break while they eat them. And I was like, what the fuck are those? I must have them. And so I wandered around all the food stalls for a minute, and I finally saw one stall with this big sort of American flag banner, and it said American fried potatoes. And I was like, I highly doubt that, but let's go see what's going on. And so I went in there, I went and waited, and I saw the big long fries, and they had different options. And of course, like, they're American potatoes, but their options were like plain cheese sauce, which is fairly American, I'll give them that. Nori salt, which is not American at all. Or soy sauce butter. Like, they have a butter soy sauce, which is, I don't know, that's sort of like halfway. I'll give them that. It's like halfway between. So I got the cheese sauce ones because I figured if I'm gonna get American fries, I might as well go full American and get the cheese sauce, and they were pretty good. There might be a portion later in this video where you see some of the fries, but yeah, I went there. I sat down because the Hirosaki Festival, the Cherry Blossom Festival, shares another Cherry Blossom Festival with the neighboring shrine, and the neighboring shrine has another Cherry Blossom Festival where they have different food carts and souvenir stands and stuff, and they have a stage where people sing enka. I cut the audio out because, like, the wearable camera rig, it's okay to shoot video with, but the audio not so much. It records audio, but you have to hear it through the filter of the plastic bag, and every time I move, the bag kind of crinkles slightly, which you can't. I couldn't really hear it when I was walking around, but you can really hear it on the video, and it was unpleasant. So I didn't. There's no sound. I'm sorry for that. It is what it is. Um, but yeah, I listened. I sat down. I listened to some Inca. I had a beer. I was sitting next to some tourists, and I balanced one of the beer can that I was drinking on my head. They seemed to like that. Um, there's also when you go here, there's this like there's so many people walking around and talking and taking pictures and stuff. You can hear it all around you, and you also hear every so often if you walk around, you'll hear people playing shamisen, because there's a special there's a subgenre of shamisen music that is native to this region of Japan, to Aomori, called Sugata Jamisen, and it's if you listen to like the Yoshida brothers or whatnot, you get that really sort of like hard plucked shamisen that has a more like fast tempo. That's a Sugata style shamisen, and it's really cool. There's a person you can see playing it right now. Um, it's actually pretty cool. I like it as far as shamisen music. I prefer it to the other sort of styles. That may be because I live here and this place has sort of grown on me. Um, but yeah, it's cool to listen to. You can find a lot of tracks and stuff on it on like SoundCloud and things. Um, yeah, so this whole day that I was here walking around, I mean, I compressed all the footage I had and I cut it together, so that it was a nice little concise video that sort of showed off the festival and walking around it, what it would be like. But this is only about 35 minutes long or so. The amount of footage that I took for this originally was somewhere around like 3 hours of video. Um, I shot until the galaxy that was around my neck nearly ran out of charge. And it filled like 8 or 10 gigabytes worth of footage, and I sort of pared it down from that. I picked out sort of the routes and sites that I thought would be interesting and weren't as weren't as crowded, because there's a lot of footage of just basically like somebody's back because the paths were so crowded, much like right now actually, uh, because the paths were so crowded and whatnot. So I cut as a lot of that out and sort of tried to concentrate the good so that you could have the experience of someone walking around and seeing the sights and whatnot without too much of just sort of downtime, um, wait or B-roll of just getting from place to place. Uh, it's by the time that I got back home this day, I had actually walked something like 25,000 steps or something like that. Um, a little bit, a little bit over, I think 13 kilometers for the whole day. Yeah, I had hamburger feet. They were not pleasant and they hurt. It was not good. Um, I was so tired, and the next day I just sort of spent like lying down because my legs were absolutely just shot. I had walked more in this day going around eating, shooting like footage for this than the amount that I walked trying to find that special bottle of Yamazaki for you. The bottle, finding the Yamazaki was 21,000 steps, so I went a little bit over that, putting this video together, or shooting the footage for this video. And it was fun. It was a good time. I ate a lot. There's a stand at this particular festival that seems to be a yearly stand where they just sell like food on a stick. And I've gone there both years that I've gone to the festival. But they have a skewer of like fried chicken. It's karaage. They call it karaagebo. It's like just a fried chicken on a stick, and they have these huge hunks of fried chicken, and they seem to have like a shichimi, like the seven spice stuff in the batter of it. It's good, and they put a glaze of sauce on it. It's really tasty. But you can go to the stand and get like that and a tall can of beer for not too much. And so I went there last year and I got a big stick and a big can, and because I was really hungry. It's like, oh, I want this, and it was delicious. And so when I went there this year, I had that, and while I was eating that, I saw the guy with the long fries, and so I was like, oh fuck, now I gotta go get those. Yeah, there's also people selling churros, which was awesome. You can get churros here at Mr. Donut, but they're not quite what you'd expect, like a churro that you'd buy in America to be. They're glazed. They're not dusted, and they're a little bit more, I guess, firm than proper like Mexican churros are, or at least churros that you'd buy like from a dude in a cart in back home would be. They're perfectly good. Whenever I go to Mr. Donut, and they have churros, I always buy a bunch. Actually, I think on the way back from here, I stopped at Mr. Donut and got more churros. Oh, this is the Memorial Garden, by the way. And I went to I go to Mr. Donut enough that they give me fucking discount cards and shit. So I had this card that allowed me to buy so many donuts, any donut under $1.20, I could buy up to 4 of for a discount. So, of course, I walked in. They still had the churros at Mr. Donut, and I grabbed the tongs, went over to the place where the churro was, shanked 4, or like looped 4 churros through the tongs, and then put them on my plate. And the woman standing behind or beside me in line sort of looked over at me and was like, damn, that guy likes churros. I just sort of looked back at her like, don't you judge me. You with your Ponde rings, So, yeah, I came back. I ate the churros over the next few days because they were still churros and they were delicious. All churros are beautiful. Yeah, but this was a good day. I went out. I shed some blood, sweat, and tears for the purpose of this channel and to bring you guys back at home a little taste of my life and my adventures over here in Japan. This is one of the more fun sort of things that happen in Aomori, and it happens every year. It's a bit odd, like I said, because it's later in the year than most other places' cherry blossom festivals, so it's a little bit unique. It's cool because you can, if like last year I went to Tokyo and Kyoto for the spring for that vacation that I had to salvage out of the ashes of trying to deal with Elena's weird plans of what a fucking vacation means. I won't get on that because that'll take more. I'll have to edit more footage in the video. But I went to Kyoto and I went to Tokyo, and both those places had their own cherry blossom festivals in April when I went traveling. And then I came back to Aomori in like late April and was wandering around, and then I realized, oh, there's the cherry blossom festival in Hirosaki, so I went to that one too, and so I ended up going to 3 different sort of Sakura festivals in different parts of the country in within the span of about 2 months. And it's interesting because most of the rest of the country is all in April. It's only really up in Tohoku and Hokkaido that we have to do it later. And so it's kind of it's different and special. It's sort of one of those things that makes Aomori Aomori, you know. Um, but it was fun. I went to this Memorial Garden because I had the sort of all access ticket, and I was like, well, fuck, if I'm going to shoot the video and get all the way out here, I'm gonna go to all the goddamn places. And so I went to the Memorial Garden. I had to find the Memorial Garden. I got lost for a while and didn't know where it was, so that tacked a lot of walking onto the excursion as well. Because I walked from my apartment to Namioka Station, from Hirosaki Station to the festival, then walked around the festival, then walked back, then took the train, then walked back from the station to my apartment. So that's why there was so much walking. My legs were so fucked up afterwards. But I figured, I'll get the full ticket, I'll do the full thing and see, because that way I'll get good enough footage for a proper 30-minute video or so. And I did it all. The Memorial Garden, you don't see it as much in the video because it was hard to get the wearable camera to pick it up without sort of fiddling with it. But in the Memorial Garden, there's these ponds full of different colored koi, and some of them are golden, like big goldfish. Some of them are red. Some of them are white. There was one that looked like bone china, like it was white and pale blue, almost like Chinese porcelain. It was awesome. But they're so used to tourists coming there and feeding them that anytime you get near the water with the koi, they all swim up to you and just wait at the surface with their mouths open like, all right, come on, motherfucker, you need to feed us now. And I didn't have anything to feed them, so I was just kind of looking at them filming like, ooh, and they would look up at me for a minute with their mouths open, and then they close their mouth and slowly swim away like, oh, you like, you bastard. You're not coming in here with cheap ass shit, not feeding us. And so I kind of felt guilty after a while for not bringing anything. I felt like I should have been better prepared. But it is what it is, and I didn't want to go back and get food to bring to the koi, So an update on things. So school has started again. I have classes now, and actually this year and next year, the Ministry of Education is actually making elementary school study English more. So it's actually becoming like a full-on subject with more hours and whatnot. And now, 3rd and 4th graders have to study English too. Now, this is good. Because the kids have way more time to learn English and get better at it. However, I already have 7 schools because it's only me in this village, and I'm doing what I can. But I already had a big workload, and now they have more classes, more schools, or more classes in each school, more grades that I'm responsible for now. And so my workload has gotten pretty intense. So I've been pretty fucking busy in this first month of classes, is why I've been sort of dark. Like that, and the money issue that I've had before this was eating up most of my time and energy. It's getting a little bit better now because people are sort of settling into the groove, and because we have more class loads, I've actually got more faculty in each school, which is nice. So I've had to go around and meet all of them and like explain that I can understand them when they talk and we have meetings and stuff, because it's almost every time like you get a new like homeroom teacher or whatnot you work with, the first few meetings you'll have with them, they'll always kind of go like, Nihongo ga daijoubu desu ka? And so you have to sort of tell them like, yeah, I can understand what you're saying, we can do this, I can work with you and whatnot, don't worry. But it's understandable, So working with them, I did win some props with one of the new homeroom teachers I have because I was sort of dicking around in the hallways of one of my elementary schools with a student that I was just sort of goofing off with, and the kid was like, "Oh yeah, you're strong," and I said, "Oh yeah, I am." And so I told him like, "Here, hold my arm," because my arms have gotten a little bit bigger lately because I've been exercising more and whatnot. Oh, I dropped the skewer from the fried chicken that I ate earlier, and I had to go retrieve it. Um, and so I was like, "Here, like grab onto my arm," and so he did, and I put my foot down and sort of like bicep curl the kid up into the air for a minute. And as he was hanging from my arm for a minute, I hear this like whoa behind me, and then I put the kid down and look behind, and it's one of the new guys, one of the new homeroom teachers that I have in that school, and he's like, "Holy crap, this is awesome!" And so I got some props from that teacher, which was nice. That was a good first impression. Yeah, I have that. And there's other stuff. There's been parties and there's new folks coming to work here and whatnot. So I gotta meet them. There is a new girl from Oregon that is here, which is interesting because there's not many other Oregonians that they send us, and so me and her can sort of relate on different things. Um, she actually told me that you can look it up on YouTube, but there's a Studio Ghibli produced um, Oregon tourism commercial, which is hilarious. I it I watched it with her and it's good. I think it needs like 700% more nutria, but it's an interesting watch. You should watch it because I want to hear your reactions on it. Uh, the Franbo Death March will be coming soon. I've been making preparations and whatnot to get it recorded. I'm going to try to record it before the end of the holiday because it's Golden Week now, and I still have about 3 or 4 days off. Um, I'm going to try to do it with the option for guest commentary. So it might be done somewhat like Mystery Science Theater style, with some guest stars that will be there to either help me go through it because I will be drunker than usual, um, and to possibly do voices. I don't know. We'll come to that we'll come to that when it happens. But yeah, that should hopefully be within the next 2 or 3 days. I will record the footage and audio for it, and then afterwards, um, I will try to edit it minimally. But I have to do some editing to sort of clean it up. But I won't go too heavy handed on it because it was supposed to be more of a live cut. Um, I don't know how the drink gag will be handled, if at all, and I'm not sure about the voice editing to do, like Mr. Midnight's voice and whatnot. Um, we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it, I guess. Um, but yeah, I've even got separate glassware for the event. um, yeah, and I've done some stuff. I'm not gonna use Vegas to edit that. I think because it's such a like big project, and I know how to edit a Franbo video in Lightworks. I'll probably use Lightworks for that, but I'm gonna try to use this Vegas program because so far the limited things that I've used it to do, it's been really nice to work with, and it's been a pretty good investment for the money that I put into it. It's not too bad really. Um, it's it's a learning curve because I'm so used to Lightworks and how all that works. So it's I try to do the same things, but it doesn't work in Vegas. Um, but at least I have it free. Oh yeah, here's the churros. The fucking chur. Oh god. I fucking the first time you don't see it in the video, but the first time I saw the churro thing, I was going to the shrine to put some money in the box, and I come out of the shrine and I started walking back towards the main festival part. The churro on the bottom right is like a fucking equipped weapon in a FPS or something. But I was walking out of the shrine, and I sort of smelled that familiar scent, and I was like, that smelled like fried bread. And I looked over, I stopped dead in my tracks, and I looked to the left, and I saw there's churros. I was like, I'm coming back for that. I will come back for churros. So yeah, I did, and it was good. Yeah, so Franbo Death March will happen soon. Gonna try to get it at least recorded, and then I can put it out somewhat quickly afterwards, because there's not going to be as much editing for the Death March version. So otherwise during the holiday, I mean, I went to this festival and I walked around and did a bunch of stuff, but afterwards I came back home and I've been mostly just relaxing for the rest of the Golden Week. Been hanging out, been trying to familiarize myself with all the new rules and guidelines and stuff of the 5th edition of D&D. I got the Dungeon Master's Guide and I've been reading through that. I'm not done with it yet, and only now does it dawn on me that before I put together anything for the fucking Discord server with Tiki and all them, that I need the monster manual, so I'm gonna have to buy that soon. But because otherwise, like, I know way more about running the game now, and so there's less ambiguousness with that. It made me realize, like, before when I was running before when I was DMing, like, I was doing so with way less knowledge to actually run the game and set up stuff than I should have, which is not good. But now I have more foundational knowledge, and I think that putting that towards future sort of stuff will be good. I sort of have a scenario set up, bare bones style now, and I'll get more as I go on. But I still gotta finish reading all the rules and stuff and figure out how that's gonna work. Yeah, so I've been, basically just hanging out, playing Resident Evil, reading the Dungeon Master's Guide, working out. So I am down to 30 kilograms lost so far. So that is 66 pounds. So I'm squarely in the needing new pants stage of my weight loss. Which it's good, but it's also kind of crappy because now I need new pants. But new pants is a problem that I can solve. But it's nice to see, like, those good milestones getting out of the way, or at least getting a milestone, because it's so far it's required some hard work and dedication and discipline, and it's been hard sometimes, but also, like, getting into the lifestyle was harder than perpetuating the lifestyle of losing the weight. And it's nice to see results, So I'm hopeful. I'm still going to keep going. I'm looking into buying a bike or a trike, especially because it'll help me with, like, hauling stuff around. The problem is I still need to lose a little bit of weight till I can really ride a bike without it collapsing under my massive girth. So that's the new goal. Gonna try to get a bike. Gonna try to get fit enough to properly ride a bike soon. Other than that, yeah. So I got everything ready for the Frambo record. I'm working on a few extra things that I want to secure. And having a good time of it. Just a little bit busier now lately than I have been the last few months. But all in all, things are going pretty good. I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's a little bit weird, but I thought it was fun.